Okay, welcome to today's 4-Minute Mark. We are in Mark chapter 9 and we're looking at verses 38 through 41. Teacher, said John, we saw a man driving out demons in your name and we told him to stop because he was not one of us. Do not stop him, Jesus said. No one who does a miracle in my name can in the next moment say anything bad about me. For whoever is not against us is for us. I tell you the truth, anyone who gives you a cup of water in my name because you belong to Christ will certainly not lose his reward. Now let's remind you of the context of these verses. Remember, Jesus had said he's going to suffer and die. The disciples started arguing about who's the greatest. And Jesus had to say, to be great, you have to be a servant. And you have to welcome the non-great. The children, welcome them in my name, the non-great people. So think of some of the non-great people in our society today, people who would need to be welcomed. That's what Jesus would have you do. So now we have, perhaps John is trying to change the subject here to get the attention off of the disciples because they knew they had been caught doing something bad. Teacher caught us. You know, what were you arguing about on the road? And it says they kept quiet, they didn't answer. Because they knew the teacher had caught them doing something bad. So now John says, what about somebody else? Let's take the attention off of us for a minute. Teacher, look at what that person's doing over there. And any of you who have taught in schools or taught in Sunday school know that that's what kids do, right? We want you to be quiet. Well, he's talking over there. Don't throw anything. Well, she threw something. So, teacher, look at that guy over there. Okay, we know a man, and he's casting out demons in your name. But you know what? He's not one of us, one of the 12. The disciples are still thinking in terms of they are the greatest. He's not one of us. So what should we do? We told him to stop because he's not one of us. And Jesus says, do not stop him. No one who does a miracle in my name can in the next moment say anything bad about me. For whoever is not against us is for us. Oh man, if only we Christians could take that particular lesson to heart. The Christians who aren't in our congregation, but are doing great things in the name of the Lord, they're on our side. Christians who don't believe everything the same way that we do, they are actually on our side. Christians in a different denomination are still on our side. We're all on the same team. Jesus says here, whoever is not against us is for us. Oh boy, down through the centuries, how many church fights, how many church splits could be avoided if we would remember that. Now, I believe strongly in Reformed theology. I certainly do. I believe it is biblical. But I also have brothers and sisters that are Arminians, which is different than Reformed theology. And I love them in Christ. They love me in Christ. I would never say they are not servants of Christ because they don't believe in Reformed theology. They teach the Bible as best as they can understand it. And, you know, when we get to heaven, God will tell us who was right and who was wrong. And maybe he'll say, you're both right. And we'll say, how can that be, God? And God will say, because I'm God and I see things that you can't. And I know things that you don't. Okay? So that's it for today, and we'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.